Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. Two young women, both weapons of mass destruction, both created in laboratories of pain. But their paths, completely different. Today, we're diving deep into the cosmic mirror between X-23 and the Scarlet Witch, how their traumas shape their powers, and their powers shape their destinies. And trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll never look at either character the same way again.
You know, it's fascinating how both of these characters were essentially born into trauma. According to the research, Wanda witnessed her parents' death in a bombing attack, while Laura was literally created in a facility as a weapon.
Wait, can you break down exactly how Laura came to be? Because I think a lot of people might not know her full origin story.
Well, Laura, also known as X-23, was created by the Facility, an organization trying to replicate the Weapon X experiment that created Wolverine. They actually had to attempt the cloning process 23 times before they succeeded, hence her designation.
That's incredibly dark. And there's something really similar about how both of them were essentially used as weapons, right?
Exactly. The Facility created a chemical trigger scent that would send Laura into an uncontrollable, murderous rage, while Wanda's powers were initially enhanced through Hydra experiments with the Mind Stone.
It's chilling how both organizations saw them as tools rather than people.
And what's particularly interesting is how their powers are tied to their emotional states. According to psychological analysis, Wanda's abilities are actually heightened during times of stress. Her emotions and powers are completely intertwined.
That reminds me, didn't Laura also have her powers forcibly activated? Something about radiation?
Yes, when she was just 7 years old, they deliberately gave her radiation poisoning to trigger her mutant healing abilities. Then they extracted her claws and coated them with adamantium, without any anesthesia.
God, that's horrific. You know what strikes me, though? Both of them had these mother figures who tried to protect them.
Right, Sarah Kinney for Laura, and, interestingly, we later learned that Wanda's mother was Natalia Maximoff, a powerful sorceress who was actually the previous Scarlet Witch.
Hold up, so their powers were actually inherited in both cases? I thought Wanda's powers came from experiments.
It's complex. While Wanda was born with magical abilities, they were enhanced by both the Mind Stone and her connection to chaos magic, which she gained when she was touched by the elder god Thon as a child.
That's wild. And Laura's powers were literally engineered from Wolverine's DNA, right?
Exactly. Though interestingly, recent revelations showed she's not actually a clone, but Wolverine's biological daughter. Both characters have had their origins rewritten and recontextualized over time.
You know what's fascinating? How differently they dealt with their trauma.
Absolutely. Wanda's trauma often manifested in reality-altering events. When she lost Vision and their children, she literally warped reality in Westview to create the life she wanted.
While Laura seemed to take a different approach, right?
Yes, Laura's journey was more about reclaiming her humanity. After escaping the Facility, she actively sought out connections and eventually joined the X-Men, working to overcome her programming.
It's interesting how they both struggled with control. Wanda with her chaos magic and Laura with her trigger scent conditioning.
And both forms of control were incredibly powerful. The chaos magic is described as having the potential to tear the cosmos apart if not properly controlled.
That's terrifying. How did they learn to manage such overwhelming power?
Well, both actually had important mentors. Wanda was tutored by Agatha Harkness in controlling her magical abilities, while Laura found guidance through Wolverine himself.
But their paths diverged pretty significantly after that, didn't they?
Dramatically. Wanda's story often led to larger cosmic consequences. She's actually classified as a nexus being, capable of affecting probability and reality itself.
While Laura's journey was more grounded?
Yes, Laura focused more on personal redemption. She worked with various teams like the X-Men and X-Force, gradually building connections and trust.
It's fascinating how similar trauma led to such different outcomes.
And that's really the key point here. Trauma doesn't determine destiny. Both characters had agency in how they responded to their experiences.
Though I have to say, both of their stories really challenge the traditional hero-villain binary, don't they?
Absolutely. Recent studies have shown that audiences actually remember villain storylines 60% more clearly than hero storylines. And both these characters exist in that complex moral space.
That makes sense. Their stories aren't simple good versus evil narratives.
No, they're about the struggle between power and control, between past and future, between what they were made to be and what they choose to become.
You mentioned earlier about Wanda's reality warping abilities. Can we dig deeper into that?
Sure. The chaos magic Wanda wields is actually considered taboo in the Marvel Universe. It's so powerful that the Sorcerer Supremes tried to convince themselves it didn't exist.
Wait, they just denied its existence?
They literally used the phrase, "there is no chaos magic and there is no god of chaos," as a way to try to banish both the magic and Chthon, the elder god who first used it.
That's wild. And Laura's powers, while more physical, were equally feared, right?
Exactly. She was designed to be the perfect killing machine, with adamantium-coated claws in both her hands and feet, plus enhanced senses and a healing factor.
It's interesting how both of them eventually took on legacy mantles. Laura became Wolverine, and Wanda fully embraced being the Scarlet Witch.
Yes, and both titles came with their own weight and responsibility. The Scarlet Witch title was actually first held by Wanda's mother, while Laura took up the Wolverine mantle to honor Logan.
Speaking of legacy, how do you think their experiences shaped how they view family?
That's a complex question. For Wanda, family became almost an obsession, creating one in Westview, seeking her children across the multiverse. Her powers often manifested in response to family-related trauma.
And Laura?
Laura's approach was more cautious. Having been created as a weapon, she had to learn what family meant. Her relationship with Wolverine evolved from genetic template to actual father figure.
It's fascinating how their powers shaped their healing processes so differently.
Right. Laura's healing factor was literal, physical wounds would close up. But emotional healing? That took time and connection with others.
While Wanda's powers actually seemed to complicate her healing process.
Exactly. Her ability to alter reality meant she could avoid facing her trauma, at least temporarily. But that avoidance often led to even greater problems.
You know what's striking? How both of their stories really challenge the idea that trauma automatically leads to villainy.
Actually, recent research supports this. A study of superhero media found that childhood trauma wasn't a significant factor in determining whether characters became heroes or villains.
That's really important, isn't it? The idea that you're not defined by your past?
Absolutely. Both characters show that it's not the trauma itself that defines you, but how you choose to respond to it.
And both of them have made both good and bad choices along the way.
Which makes them incredibly relatable. Studies show that audiences connect more strongly with characters who exist in moral grey areas.
Let's talk about their impact on the larger Marvel universe.
Both have had enormous impact. Wanda's actions have literally reshaped reality multiple times, while Laura has become a crucial member of multiple teams, including the X-Men and X-Force.
And they've both inspired others in their own ways.
Yes, they've shown different paths to dealing with trauma and power. Wanda's story often serves as a cautionary tale about the cost of denial, while Laura represents the possibility of reclaiming agency.
It's amazing how their stories continue to resonate.
Because at their core, they're about universal struggles, identity, family, power, and the choice between letting your past define you or defining yourself.
So what's the bigger lesson here?
I think it's that power, whether it's chaos magic or adamantium claws, is neutral. It's how we choose to use it that matters.
And that healing isn't always linear.
Exactly. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's beautiful, but it's always a choice we have to make again and again.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Remember, whether you're wielding chaos magic or adamantium claws, your power doesn't define you, your choices do.